Sit right down and I'll show you where my dreams began.
I'm Michael Dugan, your culinary host, guiding you through the chef's journey. Join me at the chef's table, where you'll experience stories, secret sauces, signature dishes, and kitchen disasters. We're doing something very special. My friend, all the way from Indonesia, is an amazing pastry chef, a chef, and a restaurant owner, and an international pastry judge. What's so incredible about him is he's so humble, and he helps so many people. He mentors people, and he's just a really inspiring chef. And I thought about this, and I talked with him, and I said, I'm going to do these chef check-ins, and I'm bringing back people that originally started with the show. And we're just going to check in with them and see what's going on, what they're up to, what they've been up to since the last time we talked. And we thought that we would do this on video for you, so you could really connect. This is Gunawan Wu, and he's my friend all the way from Indonesia. And I just want to welcome you back, Gunawan. I'm so honored to have you here.
Hi, Michael. Thank you for having me in Voice4Chefs. I think this is really great platform where we can share our experience, our thought, and hopefully it helps many young chefs or struggling chefs or any chefs out there. And hi guys, my name is Gunawan Wu. If you haven't seen my podcast with Voice4Chefs before, I'm an international accredited chef judge. I judge cooking competitions, and also I'm an international pastry chef instructor. So I've been doing masterclass in Australia, Indonesia, and Malaysia. Hopefully one day I can go to Seattle to do some master classes with Michael.
That would be amazing.
And also I'm a newly entrepreneur now. So I'm starting my own restaurants in Indonesia called Gazos. Now I'm working on a new project. I think we can talk more in this episode.
It's not secretive anymore.
It's 70% almost done, Michael.
Oh my gosh, I'm so proud of you. Let's just get to that. But let's talk about, since the last time we talked, you were in Australia.
Yes.
And where were you working in Australia? Let's circle back to that first.
All right. I think I go around in Australia a lot. I stay in the same city, but I've been working with many companies.
And it was Adelaide, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I was a brand ambassador, like a chocolate ambassador for Nestle, professional Australia.
Oh my gosh. That's really cool.
And also ambassador for Lakanto. It's a sugar replacer. I've been working with these two amazing companies.
Wow.
And unfortunately, during that time, it's COVID time.
Yeah.
So we can't travel much. I guess I can share my knowledge and skills through videos. So I've been doing a lot of products and recipes for them in the videos. And also in Adelaide, I've been teaching in a college and also a cooking school.
Yeah. But you were also teaching kids, I remember.
Yes.
Tell me about that, because I see you light up, my friend. When you think about teaching, I just see this side of you of just this shining like light. And I want everyone to know that's listening and connected, because it's a very special thing when you give from your heart and from your soul back. And when you're teaching, it's special. So I'd love for you to share about that.
All right. So first of all, I've been teaching professionally as a chef instructor in a college. I barely doing with kids because I think the way my dessert was a little bit too professional for some, a little bit too technical, I would say.
Right.
But it wasn't impossible. I think when I get the opportunity to teach these kids, I came up with the idea of some of my recipes, some of my desserts. I tried it on the kids and give them simple recipe and do it. And they actually did it amazingly. And I was surprised, not just a chef can do this, but kids, when we teach them properly, they can actually follow instruction.
Wow. Do you remember what you taught them? Can you share a little bit about the moment? I'm a child, I'm coming to learn from you. What am I learning?
All right. So depending on the age, obviously, I've been teaching start from 6 years old towards 15 years old. So with the teenage, I will go for advanced technical pastries. Like I would do my forbidden tree. So there is a
Oh,
pot
yeah.
with milk chocolate raspberry mousse, raspberry jelly, sponge cake, chocolate soil, chocolate tree, and also pashmak fairy floss. So it's a Persian fairy floss to make like a tree. And I was amazed that all these kids able to do like a chef. It's the same like when you come to a restaurant, this is a restaurant's plate of dessert, right?
Right.
With the kids of 6 years old, I think it's a little bit different. First time I was shocked because it's just so different because I'm not used to it, right? It's really hard to get their attention because they get distracted so easily.
They're young. Yeah.
Yes, and with the hot pan, you're gonna have to teach them how to stir and saute
Wow.
hot food, and then with knives.
I was thinking that. How do you handle a child with a knife?
I need to look after 12 to 15 students at a time. I'm the only one there. I'm like a headless chook. So wait, you wait. All right. Hey, George, just wait. I will come to you. And I've been running all around to help everybody. And that was my first experience, right? The first time my initial thought was like, I'm exhausted.
Okay.
Going with Charles, a little bit different, especially with 12 to 15, 6 years old. But then after a few tries, I get to enjoy it because how lovely are they? You know what I mean? And no matter what's the result, they're so proud. And that's what we always forget as a chef. We always put too high expectation to ourselves and we often disappoint ourselves. And these kids inspire me.
Yeah.
They really love what they do. They're so proud of what they're doing. It reminds me when I was a student.
Oh, I love it. I remember you talked about that in the episode. And if you're not aware, we have a 2-part series. It's called Pushing the Pastry Envelope with Aussie chef Gunawan. He's a rebel in the pastry industry, but he's got a humble heart. It's just his mind. He like pushes the envelope, and that's why I created that title. You should check it out if you haven't yet. You'll really get to know his background. Yeah, I understand what you mean about pivoting back. And when you work with kids, you have these different memories that come back to you. And that's really cool. We've got teaching kids. We've got your time in Adelaide, working in one or a couple different restaurants. But you were also judging international chef competitions.
Yep.
You were doing that in Adelaide too, right?
I did that in Adelaide almost every year for chef hats competitions.
Okay.
A lot of other small competitions like high school competitions and also apprentice of the year competition like that.
Mm-hmm.
Held every year by Australian Culinary Federation. So we get to judge 3 to 4 days straight for these 3 different competitions every year.
Yeah. What's behind the scenes like that? Can you describe how many chefs or potential chefs are in the competition so our audience and listeners can get an idea?
We talk about before COVID, there were a lot of these young chefs or potential chefs that are learning to be a chef. At one time, I would say it goes up 12 to 16 participants at a time.
Okay.
Look, I was in the best positions. I get to see a lot of new potential kids. Sometimes they came out with different idea that you never thought of. It's become an inspiration for me.
Wow.
And what best is you get to taste it.
That's what you were telling me. Yeah, that must be really incredible. You get to try all these different foods and probably a great opportunity to network with up and coming chefs or chefs that you hadn't seen in a long time, maybe some other judges. And because you are definitely a networker, you really connect to people. And I think that's a really amazing skill.
Yes, I guess during judging, it was a great opportunity for me to catch up with all the seniors. I would say I was quite young to be part of the judging community as well.
Yeah.
I was very grateful that all these seniors always there for me. They always support me. They always guide me how to do this. Even though I've been doing the workshop and all that, but they still try to guide me and all that. Whenever I ask questions, they're always there. And what best is that we get to get along as a friend, not just being in the competition, but outside of there, we sometimes going for drinks. We still talk as a chef community.
Wow, that's awesome. So the other thing I want to talk about too, and you sent me some recent information about a magazine article, but you were also in, was it Savoir magazine?
Safford Patissier of the Year.
Yeah.
That's more like a competition. So I went for Patissier of the Year. It's like a pastry chef of the year competition.
Wow.
I remember I just graduated from schools not long after that.
Yeah. Oh, wow. So you were young?
Yes, very young.
That was like 2016, right?
Yes. Funny story. I end up to join that competition was my mentor, my lecturer in Le Cordon Bleu, texted me and he like, hey, there's competition going on, because he know that I love doing competition. I love challenge myself.
Okay.
And he like, you want to join this? But I'm not sure, being young, sometimes you are not confident about yourself.
Right.
You say, am I able to do that? And then he was like saying, if you join, I join. Let's do it together. So I was thinking about, I'm not going to be able to beat him.
Wow.
I'm not going to win, but I'm going there to learn something and have fun with him. So I applied for it. We went through interview and all that, and I finally get through.
Wow.
And I was like, I get through it. So I called my mentor and I was like, hey, Paul, did you get in? And they're like, what get in? The competition. And he was like, I never applied. I was like, what? I already get in.
Oh my gosh. He didn't apply? Your mentor didn't apply?
What am I supposed to do? And he was like, don't worry, I will accompany you to Sydney. And he's been helping me all along. I think he tried to make me realize my own potential.
Okay.
So he encouraged me by saying that he gonna join the competition with me, but he never left me alone. So since I got in every time when I need to doing trial, some experiment and all that, he always being there. Sometimes Le Cordon Bleu as well support me a lot. They gave me a space in their class. So my mentor, my lecturer, teaching a class, and they always leave me a bench.
Okay.
During the class so that I can experiment my things. And Le Cordon Bleu always, what product do you need? You just tell the lecturer and we order it for you.
Oh my gosh.
And they actually sponsored my flight tickets and hotel and everything. I'm very grateful for the schools because I'm alumni. I'm not their
Right.
clients anymore. Like I'm an ex-client.
Yep.
But they still treat me like a family, like you're still Le Cordon Bleu. So that's why I'm very proud to bring their names, because as you can see, I get a lot of support from them too.
It's karma too, Gunawan, because you are a very special person, as I've told you before. I interview a lot of chefs. I've been fortunate on the show to have just incredible people that really care, really give back to the community. They mentor, they do a lot of really great things. And you do that. Every time I talk to you, you're helping somebody. It's good to see it come back to you.
Thank you.
As we move on, so you're in Adelaide and you're working in a couple different restaurants and you're doing a bunch of different things. I remember when we interviewed, you were in Indonesia. Now you're in Indonesia. Tell us how you got from Adelaide to Indonesia.
All right. I think I need to go back towards the competition. I have a very interesting story about it.
Okay.
All right.
Great.
I was working in a polenta bar. It's more like an Italian restaurant. It's beautiful restaurants. I love the foods. And since it's a family-owned restaurant, I couldn't do my spectacular pastry. That's what they call it. Something different. They wanted rusty dessert, Italian dessert and all that. When I get into this competition, I need to work doubles 4 days so that I can get extra off day to practice, right? But I guess during that time, I wasn't realize I'm in a comfort zone. So you get tired easily. You are not motivated. You're like, why am I doing this? It's so tiring and I'm not being productive at all during that time. I just felt like maybe I just get through this competition and that's all. I'm not going to make impact in my life. I just sick of this. Sometimes you get into that point. You just so get used to your normal daily life and suddenly you need to change that to push yourself to next limit. But you're just complaining and it's so tiring. I just want to go home and all that. One day, one of my seniors at work, I would say, insulted me with his words. And I was very furious. I'm not happy at all. I was like, hey, people can be out there. In life, we're like a wheel. We can be out there. Sometimes we can be down there. But one day I will be up there and looking down at you. But I will never look down at you, but I will be up there. trust me. And I was so angry with him, but I guess that's like a slap to wake me up from my comfort zone. Without realizing it, the next day I went for practicing for my competition. I was become more productive. I was like, dude, in one day I can do 3 different desserts and it was all awesome. And I believe that anger
Okay.
become a source of energy to my motivation. It's I'm going to show you, dude. You know what I mean? I'm going to show you. I'm very angry. So this is what I wanna share to listener. It's okay to get angry, but don't throw it to anyone else. But use that as a energy and as a motivation. It's a positive motivation. It's good to have the anger, but it will improve you without you realizing it. When I'm angry, I want to
Yep.
prove that to that guy at first. I was working so hard without realizing I'm working hard
Right.
because we are in an anger state. But when I get into my result was good and I got into the front page of the recipe book, I think it was amazing, right?
Mm.
And I won People Choice Award for my tarts with the sugar dome.
Yeah.
I bring back to work and show him, hey, I want to curse him. It changed. I actually said thank you instead of cursing him because it's like,
Right.
if it wasn't because he insulted me, I would be in my comfort zone and I would give up or I would just let it be. I'm not gonna make
Yeah.
impact in my life. When I got my result, my anger went gone and I came to him and said thank you.
Wow.
And he was surprised. Why do I say thank you for? I was like, look, I'm in the magazine and thank you. That's it.
Yeah, that to me is very unique, right? I am very similar in that way. I noticed that about you right away when we interviewed, when we talked, when we collaborated. It's a people side, right? That's very rare in chefs. And I work in technology now. I studied to be a chef for 10 years. I worked in the business, but it's a people side that's very rare for people to think outside of themselves, right? What's their motivation? Why are they frustrated? Why are they angry with you? Maybe they're just totally stressed out. Maybe somebody threw a plate at them. You don't really know what it is, but if you can pull back and just say, you know what, I'm going to help this person by being more relaxed about it, not getting angry, not confronting them, it works. And it really works. And some of them get it and some of them don't. Sometimes people just want to be angry. But you and I, our cup is half full. There's no question about it. We're not cup is half empty, meaning that we look at life in a positive way. We talk about Adelaide, but again, how did you get to Indonesia? How did you built this amazing restaurant in Indonesia? You got to tell this story. You got to share this with everybody.
In most of my articles in Australia, I always say that I was born and raised in Indonesia. It's always my hometown. It's always where
Yep.
I was born. It's always a home for me. Even in Australia, I was thinking about Indonesia. It's a great country, good foods, and families are here too. COVID changed everything as well. I was in a long distance relationships and it's really tough.
Sure.
When Australian government start to open up, I think it's easier for me too. Went back to Indonesia rather than my girlfriend back then came to Australia. At first, I was planning to come back for 3 months to check up how is it going with Indonesian trend with the hospitality industries and all that, and planning about my future with my wife now, right? We plan to get married. When I came back to Batam, it's a small city very close by from Singapore. It's 45 minutes by ferry from Singapore.
Oh.
And this island, you can see Marina Bay Sands and all that. It's like swimming distance, like you can swim there. It's so close.
Oh my gosh. I've always wanted to go to Singapore. That's on my bucket list.
If you come to
Wow.
Singapore, you can just take ferry to Batam. That's how close it is. You can come in the morning and leave in the late afternoon or evening. It's only 45 minutes ride.
Wow.
What surprised me is that it changed. I've been away from this city for 13 years and I was blown away. It was like, wow, the F&B industry really striving. I guess because of the influx of the tourists coming in every week.
Mm-hmm.
We get a lot of tourists from Malaysia and Singapore, and we got a big community of expat from everywhere in the world. Lebanese, American, Australian, and Everybody needs food. That's what the chef's for, right?
Right.
So I saw opportunity there. So my initial 3 months, it become 2 years now. So then it struggled at first to looking for places, business idea and all that. Struggle with different mindset. But I always believe in my way. It's not being idealist, but I saw opportunity what people don't see,
Okay.
right? So in Indonesia, everybody's selling like the noodles and all that. But I'm seeing like there is, I think, 100 more stalls selling the same thing. Why don't I become the only one selling different things,
Okay.
right? Even though I'm not going to get the whole market, but I believe the niche will come and the other market will be like, oh, I'm sick of this. You see how I see it?
Yeah.
The businessman will see, hey, this place is so packed with people. So let's start another business with the same model. But as a customer, when I came, I have no choice. I only have that noodle. So I eat. But from the other perspective, people will say, hey, that's a good business because people love eating noodles. But from the customer point of view, like me, I eat this noodle because I have no choice.
Right.
So I'm giving them choice. Being the only different amongst the mainstreams, then the locals start to be like, hey, this is different one. I want to try. Hey, they sell
Mhm.
sourdough. Hey, they sell scrambled egg. Hey, they sell pasta. Let's come and try. Can you believe that I expected without much customer for the first 3 months?
I believe it. Absolutely.
But they proved me wrong. The first 3 months we were hit with the busiest customers. Like almost every day we are fully booked, like full.
That's incredible. Tell us why, right? I'm a young entrepreneur like you and I'm listening. I want to know some tips, some idea about how do you bring people in?
First of all, I have already did my marketing before even I opened. I did my marketing since February. I opened in August.
Okay.
I did fine dining, collaborating with hotels. I went to Jakarta to do another fine dining. I went to Kuala Lumpur to do another fine dining, and I keep posting gazos. And people don't know what is gazos. What is that? But it looks
Yeah.
cool.
I remember because I've been watching you. I've been watching all the momentum from the beginning and I was so excited for you. I was just so excited. It's really cool. Receive $10 off your next purchase with Voices4Chefs 10.
You don't know what to make for dinner again? You want to explore new cuisines but you don't have time? What if you have new inspirations and we provide you with the ingredients and recipes? We know you want to travel, learn new foods, explore the world, but life's responsibilities keep getting in your way. What if you can bring those experiences to your home neatly packed into a box? Ladyboo Collective is a subscription service that finds real people from around the world to create beautifully curated assortments of recipes, ingredients, and cultural content. Not only do we include cultural ingredients, but also a set of detailed recipe cards with instructions on how to use them. Each box also has a QR code that when scanned takes you to tons more global exploration to immerse yourself in. Everything from film to lifestyle, art to history, it all can be found here. Live your life to the fullest. Subscribe now and don't miss out on the next cultural adventure. Ladyboo Collective. Always exploring.
And people been waiting, like when gazos open. I was like, hey,
Yeah.
people start
Yeah.
waiting. But again, when we build the interior, the building and all that, there is some problems. It takes longer than expected. I was promised for
Oh, yeah.
2 months, but it happens like 8 to 9 months from. But again, I have to keep trying to fuel these gazos. That's why every month I need to plan to go somewhere to do my fine dining and all that.
Right.
My wife wasn't really happy at first. 3 weeks before our wedding day, I went to Kuala Lumpur to do fine dining
Oh, okay.
because I don't want people to forget about gazos. Even we're not open yet.
Right.
I want to fill it up. This exposure only lasts maybe 2 to 4 weeks. So you're gonna have to keep people, hey,
Yeah.
we are here, we're still alive. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I think it works. So when we open it, just boom. I was like, wow.
Wow.
Me in the kitchen, can you believe as the executive chefs, I couldn't be in the kitchen. Can you believe that? I'm in the kitchen. I was doing the pass and all that, my staff
Yeah.
from the front of house will knock the door and chef, someone want to see you. Chef, someone want to see you.
Right. Of course. Of course, you're a celebrity. Yeah.
And I went up and say hello to everybody. I was so happy to see everybody, but I just couldn't step into the kitchen anymore. Every now and then I will go into the kitchen for a few hours to check, quality check.
Yeah.
No, this is not the way. Guys, no matter what you do before, I don't care. Can you do my standard? Can you do this? Because this is Gazos, right? I never say someone's
Right.
method is right or wrong, but if this is Gazos way. So I keep training. I wouldn't say it's funny, but I think the most proud moment is that I'm getting students, like 4 students working in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
It runs by students and me, right?
Wow.
And the first
Right.
2 weeks, it went flawless.
Wow.
No problem. Food came out the longest for 22 minutes, but that's maybe 1 or 2. Most of the time, the food out by 15 minutes or less by students. And I was like, I'm so proud of them.
That's really good.
But mind you though, we already hired them a month before we even opened, and we've been training everybody before anything happened.
That's the way to do it. You got to have training because you have that one opportunity to make
Yes.
an impression. And if it's a bad impression, it goes the opposite direction, but it turned out to be a good impression. So you've been very successful. This is Gazos number 1. What's happening next?
All right.
Drum roll.
What inspired me for the second one?
Had to do it.
Big success of the first one, right? But then I'm a rebel. I like to break the rules.
Mm-hmm. I love it.
I like to be who I am. So when I started this concept,
Yep.
I'm not going to be mainstream. Some people might do a Western themed restaurants or cafe. They would still localize. They would still do Indonesian taste to suit every market. The concept is still have rice, chili sauce and all that. But it's become a controversial here where I'm not even giving any rice. I don't have rice in my menu, which is not common because people hear, oh, I'm not full when I'm not eating rice. Something like that. It's the mindset.
Oh, okay.
Because they're used to it. Everywhere they go, there will be rice.
Right.
I get it.
Mm-hmm.
I want to start revolutionize something different. I'm just being me.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yep.
But again, just being different, people are just not used to it. So it takes time. But I was very grateful that many supporters, a lot of locals that been studying outside, they miss this concept.
Mm-hmm.
They've been studying in Melbourne, they've been studying in Sydney, and they're like, dude, I miss this kind of food. So I always see the same face every week, and I think I'm in the right path. I did the right thing. People love this, and every week I'll be full with tourists. I would say I become destination. People start to take, in America, maybe you say Uber.
Okay.
But in here we have another platform called Gojek and Grab. So people just start Ubering coming in from nowhere. I was like,
right.
As you can see, I'm hidden nowhere. I always say it's like a hidden gem.
Yeah. They have to make an effort to get there.
And I was surprised. Within the first month, people start coming with Uber and taxi already. So it means people already know about us.
That's awesome.
And in Google review, we had 129 review and accumulate of 4.9 stars.
Wow. That's impressive.
I think I'm very happy. And it talks a lot about the chefs, which is me, because I talk with them a lot. I came to give personal service.
Now we have to go back to that because if you haven't listened to the episode that we're talking about, the thing that's unique is I remember this and it resonated with me. You worked in the front of the house and you studied to be a chef and you love the concept of hospitality and most people in the industry do, but you live it. And because you live it, you connect. That's the reason. They want to see you because they want to connect with you. I want to connect with you. It was just this amazing thing that happened. And so that's it. Part of it and your passion for food and what you can create. When you combine all of it, it's successful. That's how I see it. And I think that people that listen will feel that way too.
I think that's the best satisfaction that I could get from. They love the concept, they love the food, and they appreciate what you do.
Right.
And that's what makes me want to do more. That's what makes me want to be better than today, by seeing how happy they are with the food, how they appreciate my effort, how they appreciate my passion. And it's just, oh, this is a fuel for my motivation. And that's what
Right.
we live for as a chef, right? When you see someone
Yep.
clean your plates and they loved it, they lick your plates, and man, I
Yeah.
want to do more for this guy. And what different approach I do here, maybe I can share to people all around the world.
Right.
People might not agree with how I do it. Listen, I give a lot of complimentary.
Hmm. It's important to do that because people will come back for
Yes.
that reason and they'll tell 10 or 20 people.
I think my staff was like, this is the only place that I see the owner will come to talk to customers, will serve the customer,
Yep.
and will give complimentaries, like a lot of complimentaries. And I always make a standard. If the food wasn't out by 15 minutes, you need to give them snacks. If the food is slow, you're going to have to give
Oh, that's
something.
great.
When people munching, they forget about the time, right? I couldn't talk to them. If I could talk to one table, it would take half an hour to 45 minutes. How about the other table?
Yeah.
When we talk to customers, they forget about the time. And then suddenly the food is out. I'm not going to blame my kitchen. It's not about being slow or whatever. We just get hit. We just being busy.
Okay.
I try to understand their position. So I came up with the idea, okay, when the food is not out by 50 minutes, it's going to be a standard. Ask for a potato chips from kitchen, complimentary on the house. Enjoy the potato chips. And it works. People never complain the food is long.
So there's two more things, and then we're going to wrap up. The first is, what's next? You've got another restaurant in the works, and we can talk about that.
Remember the first month when I opened, people been questioned about where's the rice, where's the chili
Yes.
sauce. Gonna give it to them, but not on my first one. But on my second.
Oh, okay. Okay.
If you love my brand, you will love what I'm doing, right? So now I hear you. You want rice? You want chili sauce? I make it for you. But on my new venture with a special
Yeah.
menu. It's not gonna be a mainstream menu. I will make different kind of satay, different kind of Indonesian food, but my
Wow.
way. It's gonna be my way of plating, my flavors, and yeah, it's gonna be a little bit different. See,
I know you are. That's the magic. That's the advice that you can impart to people that are listening is you've got to listen. You've got to connect. Many restaurants fail. 95% of restaurants fail. There was a number a long time ago. It's probably different now. It's probably worse because of the pandemic. But the secret is to connect. The secret is to provide something that people don't expect. And they come back for that and they tell everybody about it. And that's really when I went to school and I got my bachelor's, it was hotel restaurant administration. We had this amazing guy that we called the coach. And the coach was in fast food, right? He was the president of Taco Bell or something like that. But his name was Don Smith, and he's very famous in the US. And he taught at the school that I went to, Washington State University. What was amazing is he found a way to get students to come in, not at 8 o'clock in the morning, not at 9 o'clock in the morning, at 6 a.m. just to hear him speak. And he said, actually, it was 6 a.m. He would go running with the students. Anyone that wanted to come, he would go running with them at 6 a.m. Now you're in college, you're out partying, you're going to get up at 6 a.m. Students did. And if you're in class at 7:15, he always had a surprise. I was in class at 7:15 a.m. every class. I was in the front row, and he was amazing and inspirational. And that's what he taught was do something that's going to blow them away. Do something that they would never expect, and they will remember you forever. They will be loyal forever. And that's what you have created, my friend. There's no question in my mind. The way you talk, your philosophy, your training, your hospitality background, the way you blend front of the house and the back of the house is so rare. There are very few people that do that. That's what makes you unique. And that's why I think if you're anywhere near Gazos, you have to go there and experience it. So now you had somebody very special come visit you and work with you, and it was your mentor. Do you want to share a little bit about him?
All right, this is one of my mentors, I would say, because I've been mentored by many chefs out there, many people.
Sure.
I think you might get confused with my first mentor that I talked about during my competition. That's my lecturer in the Cordon Bleu. This is my Italian mentor. I think that's how we separate them.
That's who I'm thinking of. Yep.
This is my Italian mentor. His name is Mauro Gulli. I've been working with him in 2014. But I met him 2013. I was volunteering, working for free and trying to find experience and all that. I met him during that time. He invited me to his restaurant and eat his food. 2014, I was employed in the same place where he works. So I was under him for a few months, but it was very impactful. As I was a very young student, still learning, I will not be working as fast as everyone else. I knew that. I'm not used to some. So then he kept telling me, hey, you're working slower than the other lady or something. Me, I'm having ego. I want always to be the best, right? I want to improve myself. So what changed my life is actually the timer. He actually put timer in front of me and I would beat myself every week. So every time I do the same thing within certain time, let's say this week I was on 15 minutes. Next week I will beat it 14 or 13 minutes and it keep improving. And I think that moved him as well. It changed because not many people want to do that. People always give excuses like, hey, Mara, I can only do like this. I can't push more. I'm just working. What he sees from me that I want to improve. I never seen such mentor where he asked question from me as well because he knew I was a pastry student. Then he asked me, hey, Gunawan, what happened to my chocolate? My chocolate wasn't set properly and all that. I was like, where do you keep it? Because during summer we hit 44 degrees in Adelaide. He will keep his chocolate in the fridge. Spontaneous, I would say, I was freaked out. I said, no, you never keep chocolate in the fridge. Shit, I'm gonna lose my job because I just told him
Panic, yeah.
Maybe next week he's not gonna call me back to work. But you know what? I still have my schedule. I still came on time and I worked with him and he came to me. I listened to you and my chocolate now, it's good. Wow. Oh, yeah, good. And he came to me and say, hey, I want to learn chocolate from you. I was just like, you are my head chef and you want to learn chocolate from me? That makes us work very motivated. I never take my break. I will work faster so I have time to teach him how to make chocolates. When our boss passed by, I was like, you guys never eat? I was like, no, we're so excited to do this chocolate.
Right.
And Mauro would be very excited to learn something new. And I was a student. I haven't even finished my schools yet. He wanted to learn from me. And I was like, wow, what a mentor. And that inspired me to learn whatever Italian cuisine that he's going to teach. And that's what makes us today. My food was inspired by him too. A lot of the sauces and all that, it's being taught by him. And when the first time I opened Gazos, I think the 4th day, he flew from Spain to Singapore and take ferry to Batam. And he take taxi into Gazos and all my staff and my manager was like, hey, there's someone come with taxi. We're so excited because we just opened. Who would come with taxi?
Oh my gosh.
That's going to be a tourist or something. But we just opened for 4 days and people already know about us. Then they're like, hey, chef, go and greet them. And I was like, wait a second. That's Mauro.
That's so awesome.
And I just ran out and I just hugged him. He came and tried my food and he said, your sugo is good. And I was like, that's the one that you taught me is really good. And his wife was like saying, this is as good as Mauro's.
That's cool.
I was like, wow, I'm glad that I passed. And the wife said, can you sell us 1 liter or 2 liters of this sauce?
Oh my gosh. No, that's so great.
So that Mauro doesn't have to do it. We just buy it from you here because this is as good as his. I was like, oh my God, I was so happy.
Yeah. How much time did he spend with you? Because didn't he spend a little bit of time at the restaurant?
The first time he only came for 2 days. It was a very short trip and I wasn't be able to hang around with him a lot because I had my fine dining event that night. 2nd month or 3rd month, he would come again and I asked him to teach my stuff, how to make ravioli, how to make a proper gnocchi and all that. I think it's just a new experience for the staff to see different mentor. It's like their mentors.
Wow.
They get it from the grandfather. It's if I'm their father, they get it right from the grandfather. And they're so excited. They're very happy. They get different experience while working with me.
That's so cool. 1 or 2 more questions and we'll wrap up. But if Carrie and I were to come visit, Where would you take us around your area? If it wasn't Singapore, where would you take us nearby? What would we do besides eat the amazing food in your restaurant?
I think they have few adventure park, paintball,
Oh, cool.
archeries, 4-wheel drive, go-karts, few resorts, few seafood. We are very famous with seafood in this
Oh,
city,
wow.
and it's cheap too because we are archipelago. It's an island. Our seafood is very cheap and delicious.
Wow.
There's a lot of local food that would bring you and carries around.
Okay. Any last words? Any final message? Anything you want to share with the world?
Investing in a restaurant, we need to invest in our staff. That's what my personal thought. By showing them and teaching them without worrying that they will leave, right? You actually will maintain your standard, quality, and consistency. If you are scared of them leaving and you're not going to teach them anything, then you will work yourself to death. You just need to be standby there every day. You need to be there to check on everything, right? But if you're actually investing in your staff, you fully support, train them as the best as you can. And I'm teaching internationally. People pay me for it, right? People pay me $200 an hour to teach privately and all that. But the good things working with me, I think the perk working with me, I will train you for free and I still pay you. You get paid and learn something new. Yes.
Working at Gazos. Yeah, for sure.
And a lot of people is like, oh, you don't keep any secret? No, I put everything in the book. You can just read it. I have my standard recipe because I want the customer to enjoy my food. Without me, they still continuing my legacy, right? So I want everybody to be me in here, in Gazos. In the kitchen, I want everybody to be me.
That's fantastic.
But obviously, I always encourage them to come up with something new because I want to be as a team. I want the menu show Gazos. This is Gazos team. So when I first training, you follow what I do. When you get hang around with it, I say, hey, I want to know what's your potential, what you're good at. Came up with the menu. Let's improve it. Then I will sell it. It's not all about me, but it's all about Gazos.
Okay. Gunawan, I can't thank you enough for doing this. We've been back and forth trying to figure out when this was going to happen, and I was really excited about it. And I know you were too. And it's been so much fun. And thanks for being a guest in the past. Thanks for being a guest today and helping me kick off our YouTube channel. So I'm just really honored for you being part of Voice4Chefs, and I hope we continue to do this in the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Michael, for having me. I think it's really great opportunity for me to share what's my story. Hopefully it's become an inspiration.
Yeah.
Why I love to share this, because I always get inspired by someone's story and I want to share my stories too. Hopefully it will inspire people, because my biggest goal is to get inspired by people who I inspire.
Thanks for joining us today. Follow us on Facebook. Find our website in the show notes. Subscribe on Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you listen. Leave a comment with 5 stars, and stay tuned for the next episode of Voice4Chefs.